Before I push record on the audio, how do I say your name?
Just call me Ming.
Ming.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. All right then. So here we go. So now we're live on YouTube, and now I'm gonna turn on the audio recording in three, in two, and one. Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Aaron's Opinion, the podcast for blind people where we speak about critical issues in the blindness community and all of their issues from across the universe and galaxy. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a distinct honor to say, and now joining us from Hong Kong, courtesy thereof, by the way, we want to say, first of all, Mega Ditto goes to King Rocco HD and Wise Willie from UVC Radio, the sound that binds us together, for helping me to get in touch with our next great guest, as I said, all the way from Hong Kong. Ming, how's it going? And for another thing, as you know, I like to ask only one question that helps us to kind of build the narrative and build the conversation. So I've never really gotten to speak to anyone who grew up in Hong Kong and is blind. Um, so if you don't mind me asking, who is Ming? And basically walk through your life story. Tell us everything you want us to know, and do not tell us anything you do not want us to know. But I really want to learn from you about your whole life growing up there, going to university, and your experience. So Ming, your hour starts now.
Oh, good morning, good evening, everybody. Because it's a Monday morning here. We are 13 hours ahead. Uh, from Eastern Time, America and Canada. So, well, it's Monday morning, and the weather here is still on winter, but we are getting on to spring pretty soon. It's not cold at all, but in the morning we have to wear something like a jacket when we are going out and something like it. So, but today I'm so happy. So I'm very uh, uh, glad to to join your podcast and tell you guys about all I'm living in Hong Kong and all my life. So I am totally blind, and I am 38 years old right now, and I'm blind since birth. So, and then I am, since I'm blind since birth, so I go to blind school in Hong Kong. So we must learn Braille, and like we are Chinese, right? So we speak Cantonese in our main primary language. So so I learned Chinese Braille and English Braille as well. So I know the grade one, grade two, and also I am just getting used to the unifying English Braille as well. So right now when we are releasing a new book in our library for the blind, we we use unifying English Braille code as well. So, but anyway, so here in Hong Kong, we have just one blind school in Hong Kong. It called Ebenezer School for the Blind. So it's a boarding school. So I am living in there in my school life. So so I in at school we had to learn a lot. Like we had to learn the normal things like history, mathematics, Chinese, English, science, and computer. But other than that, we need to learn mobility lessons, like how to get around using our cane. Right now, people are they can choose to use guide dog as well. So, uh, so I'm fine using my cane when I am traveling around. So we learn how to walk around, travel around using our cane or our hearing, our smelling, touching, and all that things. Yeah. So that we had to learn in school, and I have when I finished high school, because for the blind school, we just very limit. We have to go to the mainstream school to have more study. Like when we finish like year, I think it's year uh 8 or year 9 or something like it. So we have to go back to the mainstream school to have more study, and then study the final 3 years or something like it. Anyway, so um and then I went to the university. We call university to have more studying. I I I have been I have studied marketing in my university, studying things. So, and then I have to working on a technologies consultant, telling people how to make things accessible. Because in my age, we had to learn computer. So, and then in my school year, the internet is very in the very beginning. We are not thinking about accessing online thing using our phone, but we all have a computer to go to the internet and all things like this. So I think that this is a very important. It's a open a huge door for us to learn something, especially for visually impaired people, right? Um so in my mind, I think um accessibility technology is very important. So I've been working there for almost 8 years right now. It's so great, yeah. So
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, it's very good. And then uh talking about my family, I just can tell you a little bit things. So I have two brother, and one elder brother, one younger brother, and then two brothers. Yeah. So and they're sighted. They're all fine. No, no blind, no kind of disability, kind of things like this. So they're all fine. So yeah. So that's what I'm doing here, or what my life like. So yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely, Ming.
Hmm.
So, when you were going to this to the school for the blind, why don't
Yes.
you walk us through, a little bit more in depth, what was a typical day like at that school? Because our audience, people watching at home, have everybody around the world has a different idea in their mind of what they're picturing for this boarding
Mhm.
school. So what can you
Mhm.
tell us about a typical day at the school growing up?
In our school life, it kind of very good because we have about 60 people living together. So I think at that time we play a lot. We sometimes fight together. Sometimes do some argument and something. So it's kind of like the back of the society, and then we learn a lot. We learn how to cook, learn how to uh, create some activities. And then our school also building by a Christian missionary group from German. So it's built, but in 1897. So it's 30 something years right now. I think that's school. So it's kind of very cool. And then we learn how to besides learning studying at school, but we also learn how to communicate with people, how to living independently by ourselves. In my life, when I'm growing up, when I start my work, I do it my own. I don't have rely on someone to pick me there and pick me here, get me here, something like it. So I think it's very important to learn how to live independently. Yeah.
You're absolutely
So
right.
so when
Go
I was
ahead.
in when I was in school, we back to school on Sunday afternoon, and then we stay there from Monday to Friday afternoon, and then we'll back home. So after school, so we will stay at home with our family during the weekend. Yeah, so it's kind of very cool, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was so Ming, I was mainstreamed, so I did not go to a school for the blind, but many of our listeners at home, many of you at home did, and that is a pretty typical thing. You would go typically on a Sunday afternoon, stay there until Friday, Friday afternoon, go back for a weekend. Which
Yes, correct.
depending, which quite frankly, depending on the age of the student, it kind of sounds silly to go back home to your parents just for basically a little over a day each week. That kind of sounds tiring, actually, but I can understand why they would need to let students do that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
because you know what, we have to we have to stay with our family, talk with them, and then we have our principal, our teachers said that we have to have a good relationship with our family. We are not just
That's very interesting.
when we were in school, we are not leaving our family and then uh 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 put, leave them alone. And we still have them to support and all that things. Yeah. So
Yeah, I was just saying that's very interesting that the school thought to, and it doesn't surprise me that they did, but it's still from a philosophical perspective, Ming, that's still very
yeah,
interesting that they made the point of reminding you the importance of maintaining a relationship with your family members, that that's part of being successful.
yeah, correct,
That's
correct. Because
very interesting, actually. Yeah.
and
Hmm.
and also the family the family the school or the community also let the family know that you have to know that what happened when the kids are growing up, from day
Hmm.
by day, from school and home. You have to know what they learn from school and how they grow up, when in their life. So the school thing that we have some time with our family, but also we have in Hong Kong we have many kind of public holiday, right? So in these public holiday like Easter, uh, Christmas, New Year, Chinese New Year, something like it, we must go back home as well because Easter holiday, and I think in America or Canada they will call it spring break, right? So we have 2 weeks holiday for Easter, and then we have 2 weeks holiday for Christmas time and January New Year. And we just passed the 2 weeks holiday for Chinese New Year in last week. So we have the long holiday for the kids, and also we have summer holiday from the middle of July until September 1st. So all in Hong Kong or in most of Asian country, we call September 1st is our back to school day. But if September 1st is on Saturday or Sunday, it will move to September 3rd. So most of the time, September 1st is we call back to school day. All school, including our university, have to is the student will back to school on that day. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah. You mentioned something too that I want to kind of unfold. You said that at the school, one of the things that they taught you was how to communicate with sighted people within Hong Kong society, right?
Yeah.
So my question is twofold. How do people in Hong Kong communicate? And how are you expected to communicate with people in Hong Kong?
Most people in Hong Kong are very nice. But we do have some encounter some, weird people, Uh when you are when our king carelessly hit their leg, they will have a bad word as shouting at you and something like it. We have some kind of these people as well, but not all people like this. Most people are very nice, So and then we are we always tell people that even we are blind, but we it doesn't mean that we cannot do anything at all. We still can use other ways to finish our task. So we always tell people that, give us more some opportunity to work, to play, to study, to learn something, even playing video games or working in different kind of type of work like social worker, psychology, even making coffee. Right now, we have some blind people working in a cafe, making coffee as well. So we we are not we have disability, but we doesn't it doesn't mean that we don't have ability to do something, right? So that what I'm telling people, or how the blind what the blind community in Hong Kong telling the set of people uh, about right now. Yeah.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I could not agree with you more. Just the way that you explained it in such a direct and understandable way, that's really good, man. That's so perfect. So it sounds like this organization, this School for the Blind, was, as you said, set up by somebody from Germany. So then, does that
Yes.
mean that you have to go to German class too? Is
No, no,
German
no,
one of
no,
the
no, no.
subjects?
Uh, no, no, no. I think there are some church a foundation it's in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
They send some missionary people come here, and
Mm-hmm.
and they and our history is they receive some baby girls, and then they are blind, but so they they keep them, and then they teach them how to read braille, and then all that,
Mm-hmm.
and then they ask some Chinese teacher to teach them things as well. But we don't have to learn German, but we have some, German, like in 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 the past time, we have our principal will be on from the UK, from German, and all that. But right now, all running by Hong Kong people right now. All the school a private a policy or something like it. They are running by our in people in Hong Kong. We are right now, we can run things by ourselves right now. But our history is, some German missionary people come to Hong Kong, and they build and they build the school. It called Ebenezer School. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, yeah, because by the way, I love being bilingual myself. By the way, I speak English and I speak French. So I
Yes.
love
Yeah. Yeah.
being a bilingual person. So I'm
Yeah.
really into learning languages and things like so that's good. So yeah, I mean, outside of English, do they teach any other foreign languages like at the school as part of the as an elective that you could take?
We must learn uh Chinese and English is our first and second languages. We must learn it, and then
Mm-hmm.
but we can choose to learn the other languages like Japanese. Hong Kong people, they like to go to Japan for vacation. Many people like to go to Japan for vacation because Japan's culture, the Japanese culture, are very popular in
Mm-hmm.
Asian country and
Mm-hmm.
also in Hong Kong as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
so many Hong Kong people like to go to Japan to have vacation. So I think the Japanese is a very popular language. People have to learn as well, but we can
Mm-hmm.
choose. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, okay. And so then so basically tell me now what happened after you graduated from the
You know,
school. You had to
yeah, when
apply
I
for the matriculation and all of that to get into the university, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So as I said that I studying marketing for in the university. So we have facing a lot of people, a lot of people around us. So I try my best to get to communicate with them, and then that most of them are quite nice too. Yeah, most of them are very, very, very friendly, and then you know uh and then when they grow up, they learn. When the student are finish high school, they learn how to communicate with people, even they have disability and all that, or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they are very educated right now. So when I when I was in school, I'm very enjoying my life and my internship program and all that. So wow, in my internship, I was doing a internship in the blind organizations. It's called, Hong Kong Blind Union, and then it's a blind organization that building by blind people and running by blind people as well. So we are we, our their their mission is tell the government to make things accessible as well. They are doing some policy research or help the government to think about how to make things better for the blind and visually impaired and all that. Yeah. So anyway, but when I finish my university, and then I need it's the most difficult time happened. So we are difficult to find a job. Even it's happening around the world too. In in even in America and Canada and the UK as well, blind people, visually impaired people are difficult to find a job. Uh, so I need many times doing many interview, and then nothing happened, and then okay. So when I so I this is my second job here, and my first job is also working in a company. It's called something called dialogue in the dark or something like it. So I have been working there for few years as well. So and then this is my work right now. It's my second work right now. So it's kind of very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. What turned you on to marketing? Why marketing?
Right now, because I like talk to people, I and then I like to communicate with people and all that. So I am doing, in my technologies work, I help my company to aware that or tell them or tell the other company or government sector to make things accessible. So I am the between people to people, to make things happen. We some people will contact us and ask us, oh, how to make things, to make website or app being accessible. So I will tell them, oh, maybe you can come to visit us and we can have meeting, and I'll show you something how we can use things and all that. And then they will uh have some project with us to make an app or to make their app accessible as well. So
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
what I'm doing is contacting people, or, or organizing meetings, and even sometimes we were going out for presentations as well. So yeah.
Absolutely. That's so important. So, what types of apps and what types of apps have you worked with as far as accessibility goes? And in other words, I would like you to give the listener kind of a rundown how accessibility works and how what it actually means,
You,
especially for any sighted people who are
mhm,
listening who don't fully understand. So please
mhm.
unfold that a little further.
Being, we mostly working in some of the banking app right now, and then,
Hmm.
and also some food delivery or online shopping apps right now. So the thing is, we are telling people about, they always make things very fancy. Displaying many fancy picture, and then also the button is full of animation and all that. But we found that it's kind of difficult for us because it doesn't have any label for us to know what's the picture is or what's the button is or something like it. So we are helping them, or our programmer will teach them or show them how to make things accessible, to make things like all text or things like that, to make it readable by screen reader or readable by voiceover or something like it. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so right now it's getting better and better, but it still need more improvement. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And this is the thing is that as you know, as you try to tell companies, but it's very hard to tell companies this, you can't build an app and then make it accessible. You have to understand
Mm,
accessibility and then build the app.
right,
But
right.
this
So
is
we
very subtle. This is very tricky. You have to
yeah.
start with accessible things and then move upwards. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I, I always, encourage them to turn on voiceover
Mm-hmm.
and before releasing it, try with voiceover or with screen reader, it can read it or not. And if not, you have to make it like readable by screen reader or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Excellent. 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 That's very good. It's very, very good. So, have you ever worked with companies being like outside of Hong Kong, or is it just like Hong Kong companies and developers that you work with?
Right now, we are just locally in Hong Kong because we still have a lot of things to do and all that. So we are not planning to working with other people outside of Hong Kong yet, but we will think about it, Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's really fascinating. Yeah, yeah. And okay, so you do that. And then what are some other issues what are some other issues going on these days like in Hong Kong, around the disability community? Like I said, I've never spoken to anyone from Hong Kong who's in Hong Kong. So really give us the down low from what's really going on in Hong Kong from a disability perspective.
Hong Kong for living with disability is getting more easier than several years ago because for wheelchair people they have all the ramp to get around the staircase, and also we can go by the lift and like the elevator or something like it, right? So we can use that from using even from the train station and all that. Yeah. And then we also have the guided path for
Hmm.
people, for the blind, to walk around in the in 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 train station as well. And then um and then we are getting into AI right now. So we we develop some apps for people who are used to scan Chinese, for scanning, in, in English word, it's no problem. But we have a big issues, like we have had a big issue like scanning like Chinese word, because Chinese word is not a like for the sighted people, it's not like using a L alphabet to make a word. We use a picture, like some like it's very hard. They will draw something like a sun and then shining to the things, and then like a picture or something like it. So they know that it's when they see the 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 word, the thing is not making by alphabet, so it's kind of very difficult for OCR thing. But right now we are getting there. Right now I can use you know Be My Eyes to read the menu. When we are entering a restaurant, for some reason, when a few years back, we had to ask the waiter or waitress to tell us what they provide, what kind of food they have or something like it. But
Hmm.
right now, we use the AI, the
Hmm.
Be My AI, to help us to read that menu, and it's kind of very good. People are so fascinating that oh, how do you know that you what we have? And then I show them, okay, this app can tell me that when I take a picture on the over the menu. So it would tell me that. So this is wow, it's so great. So technologies help us help you guys a lot. I say yes and something like that. So they're quite kind of very fascinating about right now about this
Mm.
how technology is helping blind people to be more independent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. It is so fascinating. Yeah. So yeah, I love to eat and I love food from all over the world. So what are some so are by the way, in Hong Kong, are there any restaurants from other countries? Is
Yes,
there any
we
international food in Hong
okay.
Kong?
We're quite a in international restaurant. We have Italian food restaurant. We have Indian, Japanese food restaurant, and we have Chinese restaurant as well. And then we also have some Mexico things or Spanish things to eat. So kind of quite international uh, 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 things like when we are go finding the something to eat. Yeah, kind of very international. Yeah.
I see. I see. That's really interesting. What about
Yes.
Thai? Are there any Thai restaurants there? Can you
Yes,
get Thai food?
we can we have many Thai restaurants too. Yeah, Singaporean, Malaysian, and Taiwan is kind of very because
Mm-hmm.
we have many kind of restaurant too. Yeah. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what is your your favorite meal and your favorite restaurant and all
My
that?
favorite, I like Japanese and Italian food
Me
right now.
too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I see. So what is your favorite Japanese meal?
I like sushi and some, um, wow, the salad is kind of very good as well, and
Mm-hmm.
then also the fish,
Mm-hmm.
and also the beef is kind
Mm-hmm.
of very delicious. Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
barbecue beef, yeah, very delicious. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's probably some sort of ribs or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
something like that. I agree. I agree. And
Yeah.
then what about the what about the Italian food? What's your favorite Italian meal?
I like pasta
Uh-huh.
and or with some mushroom and seafood as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like risotto as well.
Uh-huh. Risotto. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yes.
risotto is good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, very, very delicious. Well, that's all really incredible and all great. So what are some of your hobbies? I mean, all of us blind people around the world, we all have very interesting hobbies.
Oh, that's
As
a
you can tell, my hobby is podcasting and watching scary videos on YouTube.
oh
But what about yours? What are your
oh.
hobbies? Hmm.
My whole well, different kind of blind people. They have different kind of hobbies. Some people like to go to the gym. Do some exercise or fitness, something like it. And people, for me, I like for outdoor things, I like hiking, and in when the summertime is here, I like go swimming as well. And for indoor things, I like listening music, playing video games. Right now we have it's kind of very good that I can play video games. I like playing video games with my brother and when I was a kid, I like playing Street Fighters and Mortal Kombat, So, but right now it's still very very famous, genre as well. Street Fighters and Mortal Kombat, and the best thing is right now is getting more accessible. We have more accessible games for us to play. And like Mortal Kombat, they have the latest version. They have the attack to speed, like the all the menu narrations. They and also have the audio descriptions as well. It's very cool, right? And then I also recently I play a game called Brock, the investigator. Is on my phone, on my iPhone, and it's kind of it's accessible for me, but it use exploring by touch, but you also can use the controller to play these games as well. So I use the controller. If people are thinking about this, exploring by touch to choose the menu is kind of difficult, and I would recommend people to use controller like a PS5 controller or Xbox controller to play this game. It's kind of very good. They have all things have text to speech or have narration to you. It's very good games. I like playing
Mm.
this kind of games. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, that's really, that's really that's excellent that you're so into gaming. When I was, I mean, I do have usable vision, but when I was younger, I was always a huge fan of Assassin's Creed and games like that.
Oh,
But
yes, yes.
yeah, that's a lot of fun on multiplayer. That is so much fun. That is so entertaining. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I also like to play watching Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and I have subscribed the Netflix and Disney Plus, and I liked Star Wars and all the Disney kind of cartoons, and when I'm growing up, always watching them, and
Mm-hmm.
then I like Netflix and some good movies, like Black Mirror is a good
Mm-hmm.
show, and Stranger Things, and also very good as well. So I like
Yeah.
watching those streamings things. But you know what? It's so great that the audio description are kind of very popular here as well. We have many movies or theater that can provide or audio descriptive movies for us right now. So it's just happening in the past 10 years. So we are still getting there. But we right now, each movie, when they are releasing in the theater, in the cinema, we can have the audio description already. It's so nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think the last time I was in the theater was to see over the summer. I saw Oppenheimer last summer when it
Yeah.
came out. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Great. Yeah.
yeah. Now, did you see Oppenheimer when it came out?
Uh, you mean the movies?
Yes, a film called Oppenheimer. Right. Hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. I recently watched the Killer of the Flower Moons or something like. It's kind of very good, um,
Hmm.
very lovely movies as well.
Mm,
And
absolutely.
it's a quite long. It's a 180 minutes, something like this, 3 hours long movie, but
Yeah,
it's very
Oppenheimer
good.
was
Yeah,
long. Yes, it was. Hmm.
yeah, it's
Hmm.
so great. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very interesting story. So, at any rate. And what can you tell me, if you don't mind me asking about like, how you live now in Hong Kong, or you like what can you tell me about like your place where you live in Hong Kong?
Most Hong Kong people are living in a kind of small apartment, like about 600 square feet or 800 square feet. And then, but even more, some people are living smaller than that. If a single apartment should be just 300 square feet or 400 square feet right now. So it's kind of, but Hong Kong, living living by even renting a apartment is kind of very expensive as well for most people. So we have to save money for buying a house or buying an apartment, and then we but we have to spend money to renting our apartment as well. So we it's kind of very difficult, but we are we are trying our hard to getting better and better, so yeah. But I am living with my family because it, as I said, the renting of an apartment is quite expensive, so I don't want to spend more money for it. So and then my younger brother still living with us, and my elder brother got married, and they have a son, a 2 years old boy.
So I have a nephew, and it's so lovely. So he is living. They are no, they are living in the other uh uh area or town or something like it. So, but we still get together on during the weekend. So it's kind of very neat. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, yeah. I also live with my family as well, so that's very, very good. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Sure, 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 sure. And so where have you traveled to outside of Hong Kong, by the way? It sounds like you're someone that really loves to travel.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I I like traveling outside of Hong Kong. I recently last year I have been to two places like
Mm-hmm.
Japan. I went to Tokyo last summer, and then
Mm-hmm.
last October I went to Taiwan, Taipei, and for a
Mm-hmm.
visit. And on November, the end of November, I went to Thailand. So uh with my friend,
Mm-hmm.
all I'm doing with my friends. But I know that we have people who are totally blind that can traveling around by themselves, like doing a lot of traveling by themselves and all that. But I'm thinking about going to Australia myself, being with myself. So
Okay. Well,
yeah,
well, I've never been to Australia myself, but there's a rumor, there's a rumor that the flight is very long.
yes, very long. In Hong Kong, I think they told me that it would take 6 hours for for from Hong Kong to Australia by flight. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So it's kind of very good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would like to visit because when I hope that I'll go there in June, so I can enjoy this winter time there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Although I don't know, I don't quite know much about how cold it would get in Australia in the winter there. So I'm
Yeah,
not terribly
I
sure
don't
about
know
that.
as well. I will. I'm thinking about go to Sydney and see what happened there. So, but I will. I don't know how cold is weather like in their winter time because they are now in summertime, but in June or July they will go into winter. Yeah.
Right, right. Well, that is all fascinating. So, Ming, I'm sure that you have a lot of questions for Aaron Richmond and who I am. So, what do you really want to ask me? What are some of your questions?
Yes. So, wow. So I like listening your podcast, and
Thank
it's kind
you.
of very, very good. And wow, it's always, letting us know that, what happened around, what kind of issue you are facing and all that. So uh, beside making your podcast, but do you work or you are like a student or doing some studying, something like it?
I'm a teacher. I teach English as a second language online. Hmm.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, learning online is kind of very popular or a big trending because I know people who are blind who are speaking Spanish. No, are teaching Spanish as well.
Right, right. And
Right.
for me, being someone who's, bilingual, teaching a language is something that's just very fascinating to me. I'm very fascinated by languages and how we learn
Yes.
to speak the languages we do. It's a very fascinating thing. Hmm.
Right. Yeah. Wow. So it's so great to being your joining your podcast, and then I'm so happy to hope I can inspire more people to make things accessible. Speak things accessible and all that by all the listeners. Like I hope that we will have some sighted people who can listen your podcast and know more about
Oh,
what we need and what our life like or something like it. Yeah.
I understand. And I agree with you, man. I mean, sure, I've interviewed certainly being blind to be on Aaron's opinion is definitely not a requirement. I've
Mm,
interviewed sighted people before. Sighted people are welcome, sure. And we have
mm,
sighted listeners, sure, we do. But obviously, the majority of the people who are on here and listen are obviously people who are blind
mm.
or people who have other abilities, as we would say. So yeah.
Yeah, 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 great. All right. So I think it's the time for me to finishing here. So I'm so happy to be with you and thank you for having me in your podcast and all that.
You're forever welcome. Do you have time to tell people where they may get in touch with you if they have questions for Ming?
You can give them my contact if they want to contact with me and all that. So you have my WhatsApp and all that things. Yeah. So you can give me when somebody asking you, but I will not post it in public. But when somebody want to know more about me or want to talk to me, just you can give they can ask you and then you can give it to the
Wait,
to them.
sure,
Yeah,
Ming.
yeah. Mm,
Well, you are forever welcome. So,
yeah.
Ming, I want to see if you know how I end an episode. So, what do I say when I end an episode of Aaron's Opinion, man?
You know what? Being blind is not a problem. Being blind physically is not a problem, but the problem is being blind in our mind. When people don't want to understand things, I think they are blind in their mind, but we we are not. We still can do many things. We still can feel our world, what happening, and have our own feeling and all that. So, um, being blind is not being nothing. We can do many things. Yeah.
You are very, very welcome. Thank you for your wisdom and thank you for your knowledge. And you are forever welcome in the Aaron's Opinion family. All right, Ming. As we say,
Okay.
thanks for joining us today. You're always welcome.
All
And help one person today, help one
Thank
million
you.
people tomorrow. For those of you still on YouTube, thank you so much. We will we
Thank
will
you.
certainly be back very soon with the next episode. So thank you so much, Ming. Let's catch up later on today over WhatsApp, man. Okay. And
Thank you.
you're always welcome here, and you're always in the Aaron's Opinion family now. So I will certainly connect with you and send you more information in a little bit. You enjoy the rest of your day. Have a safe day and have a healthy day over there in Hong Kong. And we'll catch
Thank
up over
you.
on WhatsApp in a few minutes. Always welcome. All right, everybody.
Thank
Take care. Thanks so much.
Thank
Help
you.
one person
Bye.
today. Help 1
Bye.
million